Ladies and gentlemen, we're all here today not for an ordinary review, but rather an execution! Yes, and this is one that many people have been waiting to do this for. It really does feel like a special event. Created by the most poorly managed and least reputable animation studio in the modern era, I give you Sony Pictures Animation's The Emoji Movie. This all happened ever since the day that Sony Pictures would announce that they would make an animated film about emojis. And here we are today, where the movie decided to reveal its face into the theaters. So, may I ask you all, now that Sony finally released the movie, should we all decide to go and actually give it a chance and apologize to Sony Pictures for the internet being so mean? Or do we finally have proof and to finally declare this as one of the best animated films of all time? Well, before the big moment, I finally have proof. And I collected an entire piece of evidence to show you how the Emoji Movie really is. And I can guarantee you all that unlike the movie itself, what I have in store will not disappoint you one bit.
The story. The story would at first seem a bit underwhelming. Ever since the trailer was released, audiences would cry out that the film completely ripped off two films that are far more successful than any animated movie Sony will ever make: Disney's Wreck-It Ralph and Pixar's Inside Out. However, even with its issues, that doesn't mean that this movie isn't full of surprises. Believe it or not, that old plot only covers the first half of the movie. It's as if the writing knows that it's talented enough to create a good original story. While not in the direct meaning, the story presents a coming-of-age tale that would focus on Gene and how he would learn to become a hero. However, he would soon discover that it's not as glamorous as it sounds. The purpose of the story is to create a blend of action and heart, where it would deliver a huge supply of strong action, which I'll get into more later. By the second half, it would make a smooth transition to really get into the heart of the movie and its message, which is the friendship between the two main characters. And it would also look into the real world where the smartphone belongs to a kid named Alex who has a crush on a girl named Addie.
I have some bad news, Gene, and I'm afraid you'll have the wrong reaction.
Okay.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
You're just not ready, son.
However, here's why they work here. The Wreck-It Ralph part was well made, and for the Inside Out bit, well, the movie does have some side plots with Alex and with Gene's parents, but it's so poorly crafted that there's little to no connection with each other, and it ends up being pointless filler. In this case, it's like if the writers took a previous draft of Inside Out and changed a few things to claim it as its own. It somehow miraculously made it work. In a sense, yes, everything sounds like it was all made up on the spot. But let's be honest, who didn't do that? The whole movie pretty much pays homage to a simpler time of our youth when we would just make up our own epic tales and have whoever we want in there. This would have to be one of the most deceiving stories put into a movie. It may have a pretty weak start, but it would later become a lot more heartfelt, deep, and quite engaging. The animation. Maybe this is not the first time that audiences would enter into the animated world of the internet, but this would easily be one of the best interpretations. One of the biggest strengths of Wreck-It Ralph was the variety in the animation. Numerous styles in the environment, all different types of designs, each group of characters having a unique way of moving with the character animation, and more. For example, with the character designs, all it did is take an emoji, stick some arms and legs into it, and repeat that with everyone in this film except for a few others that have a different style. As for the backgrounds, eventually with all the different app worlds, they start to blend together to bring you this digital world or real world. The only exception to this is when they go to Candy Crush, where it's a world made out of candy. You know, just like in Wreck-It Ralph.
Where am I?
Candy Crush. Divine. Sweet.
Tasty. Delicious.
If there has to be one good thing to mention about this film, again, bringing back the animators, it would have to be the execution of it like for the character animation. Like I said before, these artists are only doing their job to make their resume look nice, and do the best they can with the material that they're given. The way the characters move is a bit on the cartoony side, but it's mostly smooth. While there are many recognizable properties featured, like Google, Amazon, and YouTube on the web, they're only used to enhance the backgrounds and not be in the forefront in order to avoid the movie looking like a shameless sellout advertising them. The characters. Some may have noticed this by looking into either the trailers or even from one of the posters. The movie presents an entirely huge cast. The first, of course, being Gene, and in a way, his character development would have a lot of parallels to the story's structure. At first, he would seem one-dimensional, but as the movie progresses, that dull archetype would become more useful and his character arc would give him more layers. Since the core of the feature would be about friendship, look, the only one that stands out among them is the Patrick Stewart poop, who might as well be the official mascot of Sony Animation.
Should we wash our hands?
No. We're number 2.
As for all the other secondary characters, while they do play a part in the plot, their screen time is very limited in order to give a lot of room for both Gene and the jailbreak. It can be a curse to some, like how I already mentioned, with others would help out in progressing the plot to lead the film in the right direction, like High Five is the comic relief who's more funny, Smiler is the big evil boss that demands order to the emojis, and I'll just say now that whatever expectation you would have for Gene's parents, forget it, because their appearances are most likely better than what you'd hope for. The movie succeeds in creating a big world where I love every single resident that lives there. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they did it. Sony Pictures Animation made a movie better than Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. I never thought it would happen, but granted, it's not a perfect movie with a few minor issues, but this is the kind of film that when it does something good, it does it in an unforgettably amazing way. If you want to see a truly unique animation experience, then this is a must-watch. I am serious when I say that this is an experience that must be seen to be believed. However, it wouldn't be an experience good enough for the AniMat's seal of approval. I'm just kidding, dude. Oh man, you should have seen the look on your face.